Dude, this is a video about the tragic rise and fall of Rec Room. I did try to play it once, and it was kind of scary. Roll the clip if there is one.
What the hell?
This video's by Foreign. Shouts out. Let's see what was so tragic about this baby game. It was kind of just like a... I didn't know it died. Did it die? Is it dead now? Let's find out.
Welcome to Rec Room.
Welcome. Hello and welcome. Honey, I'm home. Sounds kind of scary.
Rec Room is a social hangout game for the VR, allowing people to make custom.
Okay, so it is for VR focused. It looked VR-y. I can't lie, it did. And it made me a little sick in VR when I tried it, alright?
Rooms and profiles. Although still being a massive name in the VR community, it wasn't always like this. Today, I'm going to go over the entire history of Rec Room.
Alright.
Stats, community backlash, the rise, and the fall of the game.
May 12th type beat. 2016.
On May 12th, 2016.
A good year.
Rec Room's beta testing was first announced on a Reddit post reading, "Hey r/5, we are a small VR game developer based in Seattle. We are making Rec Room a small virtual reality social club. Here is a sneak peek at a very early access test of our avatars, accompanied by a GIF of their first avatar models.
Looks like
Although
shit,
they were only
huh?
small at the time, they had no idea of the success coming to them. Around late November 2016, big names like DanTDM and Jacksepticeye, YouTubers both with over 25 million subscribers, played
Green
Rec
and blue
Room under the
lonniedos,
names
some have called them.
and Boopadooba. Although, if you try and find these as players, they don't show up, as at the time the game was only on Steam, meaning there was no such thing as Rec.net. This gave Rec Room an incredible kickstart for a small developer, jumping there, at the time, 93 consecutive players, to an incredible 203 consecutive players, doubling it in a month.
Dang. So Jacksepticeye and DanTDM put this game on, huh? What up, Antonoz? I'm just learning about the Rec Room history and how it got wrecked. How'd they wreck that room?
2017. Rec Room was doing good for itself, never dropping below triple digits for consecutive players, even though the only games at the time were paintball, disc golf, paddleball, dodgeball, and 3D charades.
What else do you need?
That was all about to change. On February...
So funny, dude, because that's like...
the only games at the time, but that...
Those are like 5 different games, dude. You got freaking Be Funny Now, Jack's Films game. You got the Froth game. You got the freaking paintball. I guess that's like any shooter.
Change.
That's all
On
the video
February 10th,
games.
2017, Rec Room had released their first quest.
Quest? My liege? Hello?
Rec Room had released their first ever quest. Although there are no official stats for how it did, Rec Room had hit an all-time high, at the time of course, of 273 consecutive players. Clearly the community loved it, but they needed more.
Daddy loves
if you've
it.
ever played Golden Trophy,
You're a
you know
star.
how repetitive it can get. And with only 5 other games to be played in between, the players got bored. Until April 20th, 2017. Rec Room had seen the popularity of their first quest, so they decided to make another.
Huh?
The people loved Jumbotron, and Rec Room had hit another all-time high. Shooting robots in space with your friends hadn't been done before on VR, and people loved it. This continued to happen throughout 2017. They released the quest, the player base spiked, and then slowly went back down, until October 13th, 2017.
It seems like up until this point, and maybe this will change, but freaking it seems like they were just lacking the user-made content that Roblox and other platforms like that have, right? Am I wrong? You would easily just make more game happen if you had
update they had made, and
all those men making them
the game. At the
for
time,
free.
Rec Room was only available on Steam, meaning you'd need a Vive and a PC good enough to run it. You were looking at a minimum of 1,500 to 2,000. A lot of people couldn't afford this. Games don't just need to be good, they need to be accessible. So Rec Room released itself on the PlayStation VR, and
yes.
later this month, merged servers with Steam. Although initially it didn't do much, in December, Rec Room had once again hit an all-time high of 476 players.
But when's the
nearly double
mobile
the previous
port?
all-time peaks.
When does that come into play, baby? That's the good stuff.
2018. As of the spike in December, Rec Room never dropped back down, always staying above 400 consecutive players.
Numbers!
Until April 2018.
More
The
numbers!
game's player base had randomly dipped, going from 433 to 343.
Oh!
But why did this happen? Well, simple. The game's updates didn't add a whole lot of content, with, at the time, there only being 9 games, 3 of those being quests. People were bound to get bored, leaving them wanting more, and Rec Room delivered.
What?
On June 7th, 2017, Battle Royales at the time were the most popular game type, with Fortnite now going into its 4th season, which people argue to be its peak.
Fortnite
Took some
balls.
inspiration, making a game called Battle Royale. With Population 1 not releasing until 2020, Rec Royale was way ahead of its time, being the first VR Battle Royale game, once again hitting an all-time high of 466 consecutive.
Playing a Battle Royale in VR sounds awful. I can't lie, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just my old bones. Dude, I don't want to fucking crank 90s with my real hands, POV style. I just want to shoot the gun in the game, okay?
November 6th, 2018, the Maker Pen 2.0 was added, and people loved it. As the
They
mods
loved
went up,
it.
so did the player base.
It was a
October,
hit.
384, November 424, December 501.
What the hell happened?
In 2019, the first massive spike in popularity was about to happen, and no one knew it, reaching over 3,000 consecutive players in a month. But first, May 21st, 2019, the Oculus Quest was first released to the public, and with that, Rec Room was one of the first games available to get. Although games at the time were more popular, like Job Simulator and Beat Saber, Rec Room stood out.
Beat Saber mentioned?
A free social hangout
Let's
VR
go!
game? Yeah, we don't talk about that game. Unless YouTube stats tells me only 1.3% of my viewers are subscribed. Is it because the quality of my content is
Is this
bullshit?
true?
No! Seriously though, this video took a really
Everybody subscribe. Everybody subscribe. To me
Anyway,
and this
back to
guy.
Rec Room.
It's
Initially,
free.
the game hadn't blown up. In fact, it stayed like that for a couple months. But why? Well, the Quest hadn't had all the current games that the others had. It wasn't until June 4th that the game
Crazy they
finally
didn't have enough quests until they got the Oculus Quest, and then they're like, oh shit.
got Golden Trophy, and June
don't know.
27th to get Jumbotron, an entire month after the Quest was released. But
Where's the
finally,
tragedy here?
on July 2nd, 2019,
I guess we're still
Rec Room
rising.
had added Maker Pen handles, circuits, and materials for the Maker Pen. This led to endless rooms being created, and rooms still being made today. Although the Maker Pen 2.0 was released in November of 2018, there wasn't a whole lot you could do with it. But now, you could make fully functional rooms. The game's player base had smashed any previous record, now sitting at 3,394 consecutive players.
And where's the
The
fall?
ability to create custom rooms with the newly improved
Who's this
Maker Pen,
guy?
Rec Room was finally ready to explode, just waiting for that one moment to happen. And in 2020, exactly that had begun. Although no major updates had happened in 2020, the community was still slowly rising, and there was no sign of stopping to come. But why? At the time, they hadn't released any crazy updates. VR was becoming more accessible, and VR chat became more.
Don't rehash the same shit, please.
1 million total views. And Tidal Wave, another upcoming YouTuber, who, side note, I hate you, Tidal Wave, you releasing Crappiest Girls in Rec. Wait, hold on, Shrimp? Is that you? What the fuck you doing, man? League of Heroes was released, and
Bro,
UI was
where's the
changed.
fall off?
In my opinion, the worst update they ever did. Hashtag bring back the old UI. And then the game's player base started dying, dropping in only 1 month nearly 1,000 consecutive players. And by July, it had dropped from 7,000 players to only 3,000. What happened? Well, the lack of updates was the start, and with more children getting VR, the community became...
Oh, you're still a virgin.
Actually, no,
I
I'm
wouldn't
not.
assume that you're still a
Actually,
virgin.
no, I'm not. Actually, no, I'm not.
Oh, you're not a virgin.
Oh.
Cat licked my lily.
So I heard the Rec Room avatars added noses, am I right, guys? They can now be like, I smell pennies!
Yeah, that last one was me. The game kept dying. Each month, the numbers became lower, dropping down to 2,900 consecutive players in October.
Damn,
Now, for the
dude.
rest of the years up until 2025, nothing really changes. The game's numbers have slowly been dropping, and the game is currently, as of May 22nd, 2025, at 1,300 players. It doesn't matter how many okay collaborations it does. The game lost its spark. The community will never be the same. The Rec Room we used to have has now gone in the trash.
VR chat probably just better. They just don't want to admit it because it's perverted. I get it. I wouldn't want to be associated with that smut neither. Good video, Mr. Foreign. I drive a Foreign myself. It's a Hyundai, so pretty fancy.